going on, y'all? It's your girl Paige Alexander, aka CEO Paige, and this is Trill Vibes, the podcast. Now, check this out. This is the grand finale, the final episode of the season. And for one, I just want to definitely give a shout out to Humane Media for everything and just everybody who supported. But what I wanted to do is something special this go around. I wanted you guys to get an idea of the source behind me, why I'm, goal oriented, why I try to do better, just be a better person all around. And that is because, I've had the exceptional example. I have the blueprint of my mom, Chef Carla Alexander. But really, I knew from the time that I decided I wanted to do my podcast, and finally just put action behind me talking, because this is something I probably said I wanted to do since 2018. Okay. But I knew that once I got going and I was getting episodes rolling, I knew that you were going to be my final episode. I knew that from the jump. There was times where I didn't know who I was going to have on in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like episode 7, 8, or just whatever the case. But one thing I did know for a fact is that I was going to end with you, because I wanted to give people an idea of why Paige, or why CEO Paige is the way she is, and that's really because of you.
Thank you. And I want to take this time out to say I am so proud of you. You have survived leaps and bounds, and a lot of things went on, but you just, perseverance just brought you through to where you are now. And I just want to say I am so proud of you.
Thank you. All right. So, jumping in straight into things, before we get started, there's 2 things that I want to communicate that I want for this episode. One of which is this, like I said before, it's just for you guys to get an idea of why I am the way that I am, why I want to go hard, why I want to be great, why I want to improve my overall self, my work ethic, and that's just honestly because I've had someone like my mom in my life kind of just guiding me and giving me all the right answers to pursue things, and just, like I said, be that blueprint for me that I need. So that's one thing I want you guys to get an idea of, so you can see that it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? These things were instilled in me. And then the second thing will be, I want you guys to know that from any situation, from the outside looking in, you never really know the ins and outs of what people may be going through. But, although we try to put our best foot forward and we just try to push through a lot of things that may come our way, that, we have our ups and downs just like every other family, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that this is an example for anyone that might be going through or have gone through troubling times within your family. We hope that, this helps for you as well. So, getting straight into things. First of all, I kind of want to start from the beginning. So, I want to start off from when you met my dad, you know what I'm saying?
I met your dad at a club.
Yeah, what club?
It just said it was a club in Detroit.
Yeah.
And he was just a challenge for me because, like I told Paris the other night, the girls that I was with, they were Caucasian, and they said, "Oh, that's Ruben.
Yeah.
He doesn't date black girls." And of course, I'm black and dark skinned at that. I was like, "Yeah, he gonna talk to me."
Your dad is black. I know. My dad is black. He's light skinned, but he's black.
And I had so much confidence, but it was not to meet and date him and go out with him. It was a challenge.
Just to show people that.
Just to show people.
I can get who I want.
Yeah. I can get who I want. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you in the club, you with your girls. They say, "Oh yeah, that's Ruben." So obviously, I know you didn't walk up to him or whatever, but he did say something to you. What was that like? Walk me through that.
He said, "Could I buy you a drink?"
Yeah.
And I put him on pause.
What you mean? How you put him on pause?
I said, when I come from the bathroom, I will let you buy me a drink.
And Did he wait? Where he waited at the bar?
He was just standing there like a puppy.
Okay, so tell me though. I know like people already like he had this facade about him, so people knew him or whatever. But like, was he attractive to you? Like, what did he look like to you?
He was very attractive. He reminded me of Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. So yes, he was very attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Leroy. Okay, I can see that thing. I can see that happening. And so, okay, so he comes back from the bathroom. I mean, you come back from the bathroom and you meet him, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Out
he
there
buys
drinking."
me the drink and we exchanged numbers and nothing else.
So, how long was it before you guys actually decided to go on the date and try
It was
it out?
actually like maybe a month or two. We
Wow.
just talked on the phone. It was like a
Y'all
month.
talked on the phone.
We talked on
Okay.
the phone. That was it.
How old were you guys?
At the time, I was 20
Mm-hmm.
and he was 22.
Wow.
Yes.
And was he anything like the typical guys you were already dating at that time?
Very different.
Very different. What was different about him?
He was just himself.
Yeah.
He put everything out there what he was,
Mm-hmm.
and which allowed me to release my guard and show who I was.
Yeah.
So that's what made him. The looks were good.
Yeah.
They were the cherry on top, but it was the person.
Yeah, you was
Yeah.
able to be yourself
I
around.
was
You
able
comfortable.
to. I was comfortable.
That's what's up. That's good. I can see how that could make anybody feel really comfortable around him with the kind of personality he has and everything. I can see that happening. So boom, y'all get together. When did you feel like, oh my goodness, this is serious with this man? Like, I might be with him. I could see myself being his wife.
Oh wow, that happened like maybe. Actually, he knew it before I knew it.
My dad knew that he was ready
Yes.
to be a husband.
He knew he wanted something serious because I would be going out with friends and I popped in his house dressed and he would be at home because he had to be at work. He was
Yeah.
like over his job, his dad's construction sites.
Right,
So he had to be, locked and loaded, ready to go and focus.
right.
And you know how your big papa was.
Yeah, I do.
So I would be hanging out, having fun, and I'd scream by his house, and he was like, "Look, if this is not going to be serious, hey, you might as well don't even come over here no more."
Big Papa said that.
No,
Oh no, Dad
Ruben
said that.
said that.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's.
He honestly, he said that.
Oh wow. And so I know that for you, for any woman, that would be enough indication of security.
Yeah.
And I know my mindset would think this nigga really want me, so let me do right and
Yeah.
put that hat on. So the proposal, when he asked you to be his wife, it was something you were sure of.
It was something I was sure of, but it was also signs there along towards that journey leading up to our marriage.
Right. So, well, first of all, tell me the decade. Like, what time was this? So we can know what time of the world, what was going on. We have an understanding.
It was in 1986.
1986.
I had just got back from California, Cali girl thing going on. Hot to trot. Every man wanted me.
Yeah. Cause you
Yeah.
was a bad thing.
Well, yeah, I was eye candy. I was an arm piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
It
course.
was an R&B. So okay, it was the late 80s, and you said you was 20. So like, what was your mindset? Cause I mean, I could think of when I was 20, and I still wouldn't have been like thinking that I would be married within the next couple of years.
Well, for me, on the outside, I looked, runway model ready all the time.
Yeah.
So I never got a chance to be who I really was, which was Mickey.
Right.
So, like I told someone today, I knew he was family when he called because he said Mickey.
Right.
I know when it's professional, people call me Carla.
Right.
So I distinct the two. So more and more I kept losing who I was being Mickey because Carla was taking over.
It's major.
Yeah.
It's major. So, okay, fast forward. You say, I do.
That's
Y'all got married in what, 87, yeah?
87, a year to the date that we met.
Okay. And coming in, I know that you were, he already had two kids, right? Our older sisters, Boo and Pooh, or Vanessa and Antonique.
I knew about Montanique. I did not know about Vanessa
At the time?
at the particular time, until a year later. Yes.
After the marriage.
Yes.
That's interesting. So, okay, so, but still, coming in knowing about Pooh, like, how were you able to embrace her, welcoming her into your marriage? You know, he already have a child, y'all have yet to have a child at this point, but you know that marrying him, you're marrying all of him, and his daughter is also a part of that. So how did that feel for you?
Well, on my father's side of the family, they were very pro-family. Very pro-family. And I had first cousins that, you know, had like 5 to 7 kids. I always was the babysitting person they would call on. So I knew family was real important.
Yeah.
Hands down, I knew family is like number one. So when he was telling me about Pooh, I said, okay, and I went back to my mom and I said, hey, he has a baby. And she was like, oh, that's great because you come from a single parent, so you know exactly how to treat her because you know how that feels, right? And I said, yeah. So it just all fell together.
Yeah. That's why, oh man, that's why it's just so important to have that leadership because it's so many situations that you just do not know how to act or how to conduct yourself or what decisions to make, and just having that example in front of you, it makes all the difference.
All the difference because I knew how to treat, and basically it made it so easy because I knew how I wanted to be treated.
Right.
Like if my dad ever got remarried, that's why I placed it in my mind.
Yeah.
That's how I wanted to treat her, like my own.
Absolutely. And I think to this day, she definitely feels that. I don't know too many women who, you have 4 kids, but I've never heard you tell anybody that you have 4. You always say that you have 5.
Yes.
So I commend you for that. I don't know any woman who would be so, you know, just open to taking on someone else's child like that, you know, even prior to what you had going on with the man you ended up married. So moving on to like family life, something you will always tell me and Paris, you know, because we're figuring it out right now. Paris 32, I'm approaching 29, but I know you used to always joke and say, oh, by y'all age, I had a house, a husband, 2 kids, and 2 dogs. So like you were in your early 30s, well, you got married, really before your 30s, because you got married in 87 and you were how old?
21.
Jesus, I could not be. I can imagine being married at 21. So yeah, I really couldn't imagine that. So that's big. And you were so sure that you wanted to get married, and you were sure.
Well, it was some events that happened that gave me some doubts. But I think I just wanted to be wanted so much.
Why? Did you feel like you were lacking? Did you?
Yeah, I did feel like I was lacking. Not from my mom, nothing my mom did. It was just kids make up things in their head.
Yeah.
And want to be validated.
Yeah.
So I think it was a sense of being, a validation for me, and the fact that I could open up to this man and be myself. That it was just something I yearned for.
I get that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So now you're married, you got your house, you got your husband, your 2 kids, your 2 dogs. How was that for you? What did that mean for you to have those things at such a young age?
It meant a lot of responsibility. I think it was too much too soon for a person that young.
Yeah.
It was too much.
But not to cut you off, but what I can say is just looking back at that time though, and everyone else around you, like our family and friends of the family, it seemed like that was the goal for everyone at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like even watching movies, that was the goal, to be married before 30. Have, a family before 30. So it seemed like it's nothing wrong with that. That was just what was, the thing for that time.
Well, at that particular time, going going to church was very important to the black community. And that was just something that was instilled in us. You start a family, you multiply, because that's what God wants you to do. So I think it was a matter of it being passed down from generation to generation. That you see family first, and then everything else comes after that. Now let's fast forward to now. You find it. We have now found out you find yourself first, because how can you be something to someone else and not know who you are?
Absolutely. Okay, I get that. So one thing that myself and Paris, we always pride ourselves on is our culture experience. Like we did and we had so much growing up. Like in Detroit, we probably had the best childhood that any kids would ever want to have. You know what I'm saying? We traveled everywhere, every kind of way. Why was it so important for you to make sure we had that sort of experience?
Well, part of it was me and your dad was living our childhood lives through you all, Pooh, Paris, and Paige childhood life, because it was a kid in us that got rushed into adulthood way too soon. That was one of them. Number two to that, I wanted y'all to, for me, I wanted y'all to get, I wanted you to want that because you had it so young. I wanted you to say, you know what, I'm going to expand this even beyond what my mom was trying to show me.
Right.
It was an expansion thing. I want more. So that was the other thing, to be, cross-cultured the way we were.
Well, I will say I won't speak for Paris, but I'll certainly speak for myself. But I think you definitely succeeded, because I always want more. Like I always want to push the envelope, and I be wanting my friends and people I'm in relationships with to get an idea of why I am the way that I am is because of mostly you. You know what I'm saying? I want to continuously push the envelope, even if it looks like this might be the extent to where my success is. I still want to push that a little bit more. I want to have that work ethic that you have. So that's why this is so important for people to see. So I really want to tell you that I commend you for thinking that way because it works. I want you to know that it definitely works. I'm never settling for anything less than what my mom have put in front of me and trying to elevate from that. So I definitely commend both you and Dad for making sure we get that experience. So thank you so much. Yeah, Paris. Paris says she vouched too. No, so with that though, we did notice there were some times we felt like you were absent. And of course, as a kid, we don't consider the whys because we're a kid. We just expect you to be there when we want you there at all times. So in some aspects, you were absent, and we know now is because you was carrying like 3 different jobs. You know what I'm saying? You've always kind of been like the breadwinner.
Well, that reason why is your dad made some mistakes, and we're all human, we all gonna make them. I just felt like in my heart that my 3 children at the time should not have to pay for that. Sometimes when we make mistakes, the household has to pay for that.
Absolutely.
So I continued to work, and I wanted him to pay his child support to his other children. I didn't want him to be a deadbeat dad, and so I carried the household.
Do you feel like you missed out on something?
I felt like I missed out on a lifetime.
Yeah.
I did, but I sacrificed myself to make sure y'all had
why was it so important for you to make sure that we literally had not just the needs but the wants as well? Because like I said, we literally had the best childhood that any kid would want. I'm talking about not just the vacations. I'm talking about the parties, the motor scooters, go-karts, four-wheelers. Like we there was nothing that we did not have. Why was it so important?
It was important to me, to be honest, I lost my voice a little bit. Have you ever read Muhammad Ali's book, The Greatest?
I haven't read it, but I know of it.
Okay, it's a part in there that says, and this applies to y'all, and it applies to anybody else that was in my circle or anybody else that I knew that was in need. It was not just y'all. Service to others is how you pay for your place on earth.
Right.
It just stuck in my mind. Service to others. That's how you pay for it. And always remember that, y'all.
Yeah.
Honestly, because that's why we're here to, praise God and servicing others. And I understood that when I got blessed, it was not just for me.
Right. Absolutely.
It was to bless others as well. Y'all just happen to be my kids that, benefited so much from me.
Right. So, okay. So while all these great things is going on, man, Detroit was so awesome. Like I said, we had the best upbringing, have whatever we want. We was in the hood, but we was hood rich. You know what I'm saying? Let me be honest. We had it all. We didn't know. And then my dad, he was that guy. So we didn't have to, there was nothing we had to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really had it all. So then one day, y'all hit us with some news that we just were not expecting, and you say, okay, we're gonna move us out to Georgia. Why? Where did Georgia come from? Why Georgia of all places? Why are we leaving our family where all of our family is here? Dad's side of the family, you got Grandma Laura's in Pontiac. Pontiac from Detroit is like Lithonia to Atlanta, so you got my grandma there, like my godmom Debbie, which is Pooh's mom. I hope y'all catch that. One of my dad's oldest daughters, her mother is my godmother. So that's how much we made things work. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really how family bridged together. So, but why Georgia? Like we leaving everybody, our support, our friends, our family.
I knew when I came back from California that Michigan wasn't enough. I needed more. It's like if you ever saw Superman and he just wanted to know all about himself and he know he could supersede even who he was as Superman. He knew he was super than that. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like that yearning I had to fulfill that destiny. Mm-hmm. For some odd reason it was just there. And at first it was gonna be Vegas. Y'all didn't know that.
Lord.
It was gonna be
I
Vegas.
wouldn't be mad at Vegas.
And then Ruben's dad had gave us free and clear some land.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
Because he was
to
living out there.
build a home. And Marco, my cousin, said, that's all well and good, but before you do that, do me a favor. Come visit, see how you like it. I'll show you around. Mm-hmm. And then
going out there.
Make your decision. After you make that decision, I ain't got nothing else to do with it. Mm-hmm. You made your decision, but do that first. And I said, well, okay. So, 2000, on our way to a cruise, we stopped here in Georgia.
On the way to the cruise. I hope y'all caught that, you know what I'm saying?
No, that had to be 1999.
1999? Okay. So, I kind of did jump the gun a little bit, but prior to moving to Georgia, I wouldn't say that me and Paris were impacted because there was only so much that we knew at this point. Like I said, we were still kind of young. We wasn't oblivious to certain things, but we were just kids. So our digestion and understanding of certain things may have been different, but we wasn't crazy. So with that being said, some of Dad's infidelities. You know, he had 3 outside kids while before we even moved here,
Yes.
and 2 of them of which brother and sister by the same woman. We were actually friends with them well before we knew that they were our brother and sister.
Yes.
And then the other one, the third one, I actually didn't find out about until I was graduating from high school. But how was that though? Because you still decided to move to a completely another state with this man. You know, I'm assuming hoping to accomplish something different. But like, what was going on? Why?
I wasn't living in reality.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in make believe of what I thought my marriage was and not reality.
Okay.
And I was not living in reality because it was some things that I had not digested before even marrying your dad.
Right.
So, with that being said, it truly falls on me because it was some things that I had not worked out within myself.
Okay.
But moving to Georgia, thinking that I was going to fix it, not realizing it just rooted up here in Georgia.
Okay. So did you think that moving here? I know you said you thought it would fix it. So you didn't think that he would maybe fall back in some of those old bad habits?
I didn't think so.
Because I get it. I mean, in Detroit, he's so known. He's just this big
I
influence.
thought that's what I thought. I thought coming to a new place, a fresh start, he would value his family. He would value the person he was married to,
Yes.
and finally see the person for who she was.
Mm-hmm.
A good woman, a great provider, a go-getter.
For sure.
You know, I just thought his eyes would, the veil would be released.
Absolutely. So you move here and you realizing that it's still some of the same thing. First of all, we can't mention moving here without mentioning the fact that you were pregnant. And me and Paris and Pooh, we literally had no idea that you and Dad were even in the talks of having another kid. I'm 10 years old by the time I had a whole decade on this world, on this planet, and I'm loving it. I'm talking about it is the pagey wagey show. Like it's all about me. You know, Paris was already grown, so she was hanging out with Pooh, but I am so content being the baby. You know what I'm saying? And then we learn as we're transitioning to a new atmosphere, new location, that we're learning too that it's not just about to be the 2 of us anymore, or the 3 of us anymore.
Honestly, I thought, a lot of younger women feel like if they get pregnant, they can hold on to their guy.
Mm.
So, at 36,
I wonder what the other women thought then.
at 36, it was just okay. If I have this man a son, which he so wants so much, maybe he'll change. Maybe it's me.
But you didn't have a boy first. You had Kennedy.
I had Kennedy first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I had, but in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I give him a son, what he really wants, then maybe he'll change. He'll be a better person.
Question, not to cut you off, because I wanted you to continue what you're saying, but at this time, at this point, prior to RJ, he already had 2 sons.
Yeah, but he didn't have them with me.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, just because he had 2 sons with other women didn't make me feel that I was less than. I knew I was 100% whether I had a son or not.
Right.
But I wanted a son between me and him because we were married. I wanted to give him that. To me, it was like giving him another part of me, another love.
Mm-hmm. Because you knew that was important to
That
you,
was
and
important
it comes
to
from
me,
you.
and it comes from me. It was
Absolutely.
like, yeah, that's what it was.
I get that entirely. So boom, we blessed with RJ. He comes, Ruben Jr. Now what?
let me back up a little bit. Mm, My pastor preached one time, God will show you the previews before he show you the whole movie. And I respect that because the day before I had RJ, I got a tip that Ruben was in town when he was supposed to be out of town.
Mm.
So I was on bed rest. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the truck yard and I'm gonna just sit there and I'm gonna wait till this nigga come in.
Yeah.
And so when he came in, sure enough, he was in town. He was with someone else.
Mm.
I jumped out the van, jumped on the lady's car. Ruben got out. I stabbed him twice.
You stabbed my dad?
I stabbed him twice.
I
And when I stabbed him that last time, I
Jesus.
my
And the fact that you're laughing about it, oh my God.
That put me in premature labor.
Oh
So
man.
essentially, RJ was born a month early because he was not due until March the 5th.
Like
which is
Kennedy's birthday. I remember
Yes.
that. I remember
So
that.
he came early. That was like another
I
sign.
didn't know that was the gist. I know you. I
Yeah, my
remember
ward
the
broke- my
premature
ward broke
labor,
that night.
but I didn't know it was because of that.
Yeah,
I knew you were stressed, so I thought it was just your stress.
no.
And let me just say, y'all, during this time she was pregnant with RJ, and even post RJ, she went like through this depression. You know what I'm saying? Postpartum. That's what it's called, right? But your mom ever had a moment where they just wasn't at their best? You know what I'm saying? So that mean they looking a little rough or whatever. I kid y'all not, like I did not want my mom to come pick me up from school. She was going through it, y'all. I know it might not look like it today, but I'd be like, oh mom, why you got these sweatpants and this dusty little hat?
Let me elaborate.
I
on
ain't
that.
got no lotion on.
I'm gonna elaborate on that. When you're in a big city such as Detroit, life moves very fast.
Yeah.
So your surroundings and maybe what you're going through, you don't understand that because you're moving with life.
Right.
So when I moved to Georgia and
Slow.
life slowed down because one, I'm pregnant, I can't work and do things I want to do
Mhm.
because one of my mechanisms was hiding behind my work.
Yes. Yes.
I would hide behind my work. But your work don't define who you are. So I did that. So when we moved to Georgia, life slowed down. And I was able to see things for what they were. But at that particular time, I didn't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So fast forward, because when we first moved here, we were in DeKalb for about 4 years, maybe about 4
Yes.
years, before moving to Covington. You know, when we moved to Covington, I'm now in the 7th grade. Paris is a freshman. Yeah, I think 10th grade, maybe freshman or 10th. By the time we moved to Covington, 11. Jesus, Paris is old. So so that was another big transition for us, moving from DeKalb to Covington, even more country.
Yes.
But no, by this time, we're actually comfortable here, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we're comfortable in Georgia. We're making waves. By this time, I've been discovered for basketball. Somebody noticed me playing in the driveway and kind of got me started with AAU. Introduced AAU. We knew nothing about that.
Mhm.
So with me playing basketball and stuff, and you seeing the severity, actually from even before we left Detroit, you know, with my godmom, which is Pooh's mom, she introduced me to, she took me to see Space Jam, and I feel like that was just my introduction to basketball, but like I took it so seriously. So like, what was that like for you to see me so serious about something at the age of 4, and then even moving here and still just playing, and now I'm not just playing, but I'm having other people acknowledge me and like, okay, well this girl needs to really play. What was your mindset like? My daughter played basketball.
My mindset was, I didn't think nothing about it.
Why?
I didn't think anything about it because you had told me and your dad, you was in the back seat and R. Kelly was singing "I Believe I Can Fly," and you was just singing it. You were into it, And I said, you know, I used to always like to fuck with you. How you know you can fly? You said, cause that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I said, damn right, cause you come from me.
Yeah.
So you can't do nothing but fly. Go ahead on, baby bird.
And she still say stuff like that. Oh, I know you can do it because you come from me. Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Well, yeah, I can then. If that makes all the sense. So now I'm playing for different AAU teams. I'm playing often. By the time we move to Covington, I make the school's basketball team. So, like, where was your belief in that? Like, to see me put like all of my energy and my effort into something, did you believe in me?
I believed in you. I knew you were going to do it because that was your destiny.
Yeah.
It was your calling. That's why I gave you the book Purpose Driven Life by Pastor Rick Warren, Saddle Rock Baptist Church.
I love that.
Purpose Driven Life. What you called to do, what you gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually remember this time, and it used to mess with me because obviously I'm not playing basketball professionally now, but it's, you know, once you dedicated your life towards something and it don't go the way that you want it to, you know, it kind of messes with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have thought that I would be playing somewhere, you know, overseas or whatever the case may be. And I remember when I was in high school, I got invited to this All-Stars camp out in North Carolina. And I remember I had a hard time, you know, kind of getting going. And as far as somebody, you know, amping me up and boosting me to do well or play better, they'll always be Dad. Obviously, you know, Dad played sports in high school and stuff. But, you know, it wouldn't really come from you. Like, your support was always monetary. You know, like, I knew that you was going to pay for it. I knew I was going to have everything I needed, my shoes, my bag, my everything, my travel, everything. I knew that would come from you. Mm-hmm. But as far as the support and the words of wisdom, I expected that to come from Dad. But there was this one particular time when y'all took me to North Carolina. I was invited for an exhibition, and there were scouts there, and I didn't start off too well, and then I ended up losing a necklace that was really important to me. And I just remember you know, giving me this talk, and you never really said anything, you know, no pep talks before a game or nothing like that, but you said, you kind of went off on me, you said, oh, so you had me and your daddy drive you all the way out here, and you mad because you lost a necklace, so now your ass ain't gonna play? So, and he was like, you better go out here and show him what the fuck you can do. Like, you talked to me just like that, and for me to never have heard you say anything like that when it comes to basketball and stuff, like it boosted me, like, well, let me go out here and do what I gotta do. And I remember just going back out there, and I played my ass off. Like, I remember having one of the coaches from the colleges out there come over and talk to both me and you and Dad, and she was just like, well, yeah, she's gonna be a legend one day. You know, and I held on to that. And so, fast forward today, I'm not playing basketball though, but I still love it. And I remember coming to you like, man, I don't know what happened. I gave all my life to this, and I'm not playing professionally. That lady said I was gonna be a legend. And, you know, one of the things you said to me was, you are a legend. Look at you, who's for breast cancer. You impacting lives. You shining your light on other people. You bringing about cause. You know, and that meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, okay. You said you still a legend, but you're a legend the way God wants you to be. So, you know, that means a lot to me. So I'm like, okay. So it just makes me feel good because I feel like I heard those words from that lady because you amped me. Yeah. You boosted me, you made me feel good. So because I held on to the words of what she said until now, and I bring them up, and you tell me another way of how I'm still living out being that legend. She said I will always be. It still makes sense to me. Like, I like that. I like that a lot. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, because, see, you saw your vision one way.
I did.
You saw your vision. But I'm here to tell you this. This lady told me, which was Miss Tammy's mother, if God owned all the roads, why do you care where he takes you?
True. True.
Why do you care? Do you care? He gonna make sure you're successful. He gonna make sure that your needs is met. He gonna make sure that you get to where you wanna go because he gonna give you the size of your heart. So why do you care?
Right. Because we human and we
Right, but you
feel
gotta,
like we
you gotta
know
leave that
everything.
out. You gotta leave that out.
Okay, so I don't mean to get too far from that, but we're kind of now on the brinks of your marriage life. Post moving to Georgia, we lived in DeKalb for some time. Now we're in Newton County, and we spent. Let me see. I started in Newton County from 7th all the way to 12th grade. So that was really
Good stint.
yeah, that's a lot of my upbringing, and we moved back to Lithonia in 2013, so that was only like a couple years after I graduated from high school. So I feel like there was so much that was such a pivotal time for us, for the entire family, because we went through so many changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess ultimately what I want to know is, when did you realize things were just not going to ever work between you and Dad?
I did not know. We had separated March of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I was still
I was a
grasping.
senior in high school.
I was still grasping a bunch of straws, praying and hoping that it would work.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 2 signs from 2 people that I love very much. One of them was Joanne, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
She brought her Bible and she said, she had a wedding picture of me and Ruben. She said, hey, what am I praying for? Do you want to stay in or do you want to get out? Because God is very specific. What you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Then that lets me know what to go to him about. And I said, I don't want this no more. So I was still dragging my feet. And your dad called me a few days before Christmas 2011, and he was crying. He says, I never spent Christmas without my kids. I don't know how to do this, Carla. I need to be around my kids. I sleep on the couch. So I brought it to Paris. And I told Paris about it. She said, no, Mom, that's going to confuse Kennedy and RJ. And I'm old. It's going to confuse me too. And I'm old enough to realize it.
Yeah, thank God for Paris, because
she pushed me to do what was necessary.
And she was there.
And she was there.
Couldn't be.
So that's when I went to my attorney, which I had already paid for, and I told her to go ahead and pull the trigger, send me this divorce paper.
So
I'm done.
You had him serve the divorce
I
papers.
had him served, yes.
Do you think do you think that there was something that pushed you to that ledge? Like, because there was, I will say, like I just told Paris and Jalenti in the car, that I feel like we were very much so a part of your marriage. So do you feel like there was a trying time that was like the end for you? Like, okay, I'm not doing this. Because there were so many, even prior to moving here, there was, obviously signs of infidelity, receipts from infidelity. So what was the last straw for you?
The last straw, and I want to say this for the Black community. When you go to a therapist in the Black community, they want to say that you're crazy. When white or Caucasian people in other nations, they go to a therapist all the time. And I was sitting in front of my therapist and I was reasoning with her. And I said, you know what, I think my marriage could work. I think if I just gave him some time. And she just really hammered me. And she says, I'm here for you. I'm not here for Ruben. And I said, well, that's my husband. We a package deal. She said, no, it's not a package deal. Because if he was a package deal, he would be right here with you now trying to save your marriage.
Absolutely.
And she said, and it kind of hurted me a lot. She says, from my educational background, he's too far gone. I said, well, why is that? Because God can save anybody. She said, well, where is he? And it hit and it clicked. And I said, you know what? A lot of times the captain feel like he got to go down with the ship. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to go let the ship go down, but save my kids. And that just hit for me. If it goes down, I can't allow for my kid, the ship to go down with my children, which are innocent in this situation. I can't let that go down knowing that I'm the captain.
Let me stop you right there. So, using that same analogy, ship going down with your kids on it, do you feel like, whether the positive or the negative, do you realize the impact that it still had? Like, even as an adult, I realized that going through things, it's kind of hard to consider or think about other people's feelings when yours is so messed up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, with that being said, you were hurting during this time. I don't know what woman wouldn't, what person wouldn't. But, like, did you ever consider the impact of y'all doings within your marriage? Did you ever consider the impact that it had on myself and Paris and even Kennedy and RJ?
Yes, I do believe I was in mind, sound, and body. And it was always right there in front of me. But I was too immature to understand it. Because I kept saying, another person's mistakes should not impact their children.
Right.
I kept saying that, but I kept working, thinking that was an avenue that it wouldn't impact y'all financially.
Yeah.
Not looking at the mental stability,
Yes.
because I was not yet mature enough to understand what was going on. See, a lot of mistakes parents make, they're not there yet to understand what's going on before it collides and it happens.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us is growing with our children. Because no matter what book you read, what class you took, don't shit fuck with real life. You gotta live that shit, you gotta go through it in order for it to understand. Now I understand it, but guess what? What can I do for the future? What can I do right now? I can't go back and change my wrongs or my rights, but it's a goddamn lot I can do for 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Let's go all the way down. I'm here to stay. I'm willing to walk with you. I'm willing to do whatever you need me to do. I can change that. We can rewrite this shit together. What can we do?
Yeah. So finding out, first of all, Paris, I had her on earlier this season, and some of the things we talked about is the trauma that we've endured during that time. And one of the things that she picked up on, one, she was married by 20.
Yeah.
And we obviously talked about how you were married by 21, Grandma Laura by 2021, Medea 2021. So it was like a cycle.
It was a cycle.
It was a cycle, and then.
But no, it wasn't a cycle. That was the way we were all taught to do that. Start our families. Start our families and marriage. We never knew to be who you are first.
Yeah.
So you can be be something to someone else.
Yeah. But with that, Paris stayed in an abusive relationship longer than what she was supposed to. So do you feel like that was a result
Absolutely.
of her watching you stick with Dad through so many times we felt you should leave?
Of course, I raised all y'all to be diehards, not to walk away from nothing. Fight for whatever you believe in. Honestly, I don't think none of my kids is strong enough to carry whatever they went through. But I am. If I could take her pain like that, I'd take it. Anything that she's going through past this, I'll take it. I don't want her to carry it. I want to carry it.
Yeah.
But I can't unless she give it to me.
Right. So like, what did you ever consider like a mindset? Like, no, I don't think. First of all, let's be clear. The relationship that we have today, me and you did not have in middle school and high school. I would have never guessed that we would have that.
We had our relationship. It wasn't for back then.
No, I don't think it was.
It was for right now.
So, I feel like some of the things that kind of contributed to that lack of a relationship back then was my sexuality. I felt like that was something. I felt like that was something that you were definitely against. I was judged for. I was punished for, and I just wasn't seen. You know, it's like when I wouldn't even say came out because I was really found out. I don't think I really just went to my parents and said, "Hey, I like women," you know. But I feel like that was something that kind of bridged the gap between you and I. You know, you weren't okay with it. You were mean.
I was mean. I didn't know how to accept it. So it came down to me explain this to you, right? You have to love your child and the decisions they make because they're from you. If you hate what they are and who they're trying to be, it's a thin line to you hating yourself. And Shan made me understand that. And I had to accept that you love your kid no matter what. Don't God love us no matter what?
Yeah.
So I had to embrace who you were. Because to embrace you is to embrace myself.
Yeah. You know, I feel like almost because around that time, one, I was young. First of all, I didn't act on it. Like, although it was a thought, but it was never acted on until I was comfortable. But like, I feel like I did so many years of like trying to convince people in you, my family, you know, that I'm still Paige. Like, I'm still goal oriented, still love basketball, I still want good grades, I still want to be rich, I still want to take care of my family. I feel like I spent so many years trying to convince people that I was still worthy that I almost got to the point where I hadn't really accepted myself, you know? And I think I still, till this day, I feel like I still have acceptance issue because it took so long for other people to come along. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
So like, you know.
Because you want to be accepted for who you are and not hide who the real you is.
Yeah.
And I think we all hide, it's not just you, but I think we all hide our scars.
Yeah.
For a long time, I hid behind work, I hid behind weave, I hid behind makeup because I didn't want nobody to see the real me. I always wanted to be superwoman. I always wanted to be strong. I always wanted to be like that person that had it together. But guess what? You ain't gonna always have that.
Yeah. That's true. I
That
think I
is
struggle with that
everything.
now.
Yeah, you know, everything you see. I look at IG now, and I lost my grandmother in what, March?
Yeah.
At 96 years old. Now we find out she's older than that because they weren't doing birth certificates like when you leave the hospital.
Yeah.
So she's older than what she is. But she said she hated Instagram. And she hated
iPhones.
iPhone. And I said, well, why?
Yeah.
And she says, because iPhone mean to me, you don't need nobody. And
That is not true.
that's a lie from the pits of hell. But that was her thing. She didn't like it because her value system was so different.
Mm-hmm.
But I say all of that to say you can be who you want to be on Instagram, and they show reels of all the good stuff, but none of the things that I don't see nobody on there. Maybe a few times, and then when they show that they're going through something, then it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Because they show what they show the
Realness.
the realness of it, and I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Because to me, it shows that you're human. I don't mock them people.
Mm-hmm.
I text them people and say, hey, girl, look up. Hey, dude, this too shall pass. I text back and say, look, this shit ain't gonna last at all.
Yeah.
You just going through. But I say all that to say that I had to attach myself to something that was already attached, that I had to realize I don't have to attach myself to Paige if I'm her mom.
Mm-hmm.
She is who she is. And I love her. I still love her the same.
Mm-hmm.
There's no me attaching myself from me. We bonded by blood.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. It do. Even in my relationship today, like it still even surprised me how like hands-on you are. You give me relationship advice. You know what I'm saying? You talk to her. Y'all have your own very special relationship. You know, that means a lot to me. You know, it's not just about the person you with. It's how they act around the person you love, the people you love. You know what I'm saying? So that matters to me as well. So like. Post of what you and Dad, y'all separate in 2011.
We separated.
First of all, I'll be totally honest, y'all. Like when they got a divorce, I was relieved. That's how toxic it had become. When she told me the situation about my dad reaching out because you know he had been away and was going to be spending his first holidays without us, you know, and I was angry. I was angry that she even entertained the thought of him being there. Because you chose otherwise. You know what I'm saying? You're not happy here. So go be where you're happy. You know what I'm saying? So those were my emotions. But I don't think that I actually grieved you all's divorce until like maybe 3 years later. Like I got to the point where I was just like, damn, like I miss my family all in one household. Like I don't like this. Like I told parents, I felt like we were very much a part of you all's relationship, your marriage. So when people ask me how long my mom and dad been married, and I say 20 plus years, you know, that was like a stick your neck up moment for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm very much, you know, invested in this marriage, I feel like, just as much as you guys. Like, I want our family to work. We have everything when we're together, you know what I'm saying? That mattered to me. You know, I always felt, me and Paris would say growing up, like, damn, I wish mom could be here more to be a better mom, and I wish dad could do better more as a husband. That's something that me and Paris said as kids, you know?
I'm gonna tell you something that I learned was you can't expect 100% person
You.
no to give 100% when they only 60. have this misconceived illusion in your head that they can when they can't, when they hurt themselves. And that's why I forgive your daddy.
You know what? That makes perfect sense because in my previous episode before this, I was talking to my good friend Nina, and I said, hey, you know the type of friends. She noticed that most of her support comes from people that you don't know. And I said, yeah, that's the case in most situations. And I said, but here's the thing: you check yourself because you know that you call on this friend when you want to turn up because you know they down for a turn up. But then you call on this friend when you have a business idea and you know they're gonna be willing to go as hard as you financially and work ethically. You know what I'm saying? So don't get upset when these designated friends don't do anything more than what you expect. So I think that's a perfect example. And it's also, for right now, because I'll be honest, my dad was supposed to be here today. But
but it's okay.
When you expect certain things from certain people and they give you what you expect, who are you to be upset when they do just that? You know what I'm saying?
Maya Angelou said that when a person say who they is, believe it, because who is you to change up who they say that they is?
Exactly.
You can't change that. You can't change that. Just love them for where they at.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to bash. I'm not here to bash anybody. And when a person bash somebody else, it's something they liking within themselves.
Yeah.
I ain't got a damn thing to say about him. Only thing I can say about your daddy is thank you for the 5 children you gave me. The whole 27 years was not bad. We had ups and downs, and all of that is cool. I'm just ready to move forward with my life. Think about this. I had 2 people job offers, not job, business proposals this week. I launched another business a month ago.
Yeah.
If your dad was part of my destiny, then he never would have left. He would have been a part of it.
Yeah.
He was not a part of my destiny where God has taken me.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to accept that.
Yeah.
It was hard because I wanted him to come along for the ride.
Yeah.
Case in point, I have served, and I'm not going to name them, a lot of rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what an entourage is.
Yeah.
But everybody can't go.
Absolutely.
Everybody can't go. So I had to understand that
Yeah.
your dad was not a part of my destiny to go where God has taken me. Sometimes those people have to fall back for you to go where you're going.
True.
And I had to respect that because sometimes we still want them motherfuckers. We still want them motherfuckers to come on.
We do.
We still want them
We do.
because we love them. We attached to them. We got relationship.
Comfortable.
But sometimes they ain't supposed to go.
Yeah.
It's just you the chosen one. You a leader or a follower. Which one is you?
You want to say that you want to swim?
You gonna sink or you gonna swim? I had to learn that I'm a leader. I didn't want the position.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be a part of the pack.
Yeah.
But who gonna lead that pack?
Right.
That's me. I still don't want it.
You want
But it keep falling in my lap. For some odd reason.
Okay, so y'all, first of all, I don't want to skip this part. First of all, I have to do this sense of that moment. But before I do this, I know something that you used to tell us all, and I want to make sure I mention my little brother and sister too, Kennedy and RJ, because I felt like, me and Paris, we were grown. Like, yeah, the divorce hurt, but, they were kids and they were still really going through it. They didn't know what was going on. They just knew one day, it's time for dad to leave and the separation followed by divorce, blah, blah, blah. So, I want to make sure that I express how tough it was and how tough it still is, for them to, get a grasp of what's going on with their parents. So, But what I will say is, during the separation, following up to the divorce, something you will always say to this day is you were supposed to either be dead, in jail, or in a mental facility.
Yeah.
Because what dad put you through and some of the things you had to endure during that time, most women don't bounce back from. You know what I'm saying? The infidelities, the list goes on. The list truly does go on. And I don't want to, this episode, I'm not here to put anybody down, but I am here to be real. You know what I'm saying? I love my dad tremendously. I think that is the perfect way to describe unconditional love as your love for your parents, because no matter whether they whooped you, they punished you, they pissed you off, they get on your nerves, because parents, y'all do just that.
Yes.
You know? But no matter what, that love stays the same from the time we enter this world to the time we leave. So I always describe unconditional love as my love for my parents. But wrong is wrong, right is right. You know what I'm saying? So during those troubling times, you said those things, but you did overcome it. And I have to share this funny story because you came so far from it. You know, one time, you know, my dad, just by this time he had moved out, he had an apartment in Conyers. We still living in Covington at this time, and my little brother and sister were already at his house or whatever. I asked him if I can use his truck because I wanted to go out and do some things. And he said, yeah, sure, you just have to come, you know, get a ride to come and pick it up. So I'm like, cool, man. I don't know why I thought it would be cool to ask my mom to actually take me to his apartment or whatever, but I had her go through so many like turns and twists and just to like throw off the way to get there just so she probably wouldn't remember. So I kid y'all not, like we get there and I'm about to get ready to get out the car and I know she getting out with me. So I'm like, what are you doing? And she says, oh, I just want to come and see the kids. I said, Mom, they just left last night. Like late last night because he was my security for my party the night before. So like that's how I know it was late last night. So I just want to say hey. So I tried to sprint up them stairs to tell him that hey, Mom is behind me, blah blah blah, cause like my ultimate goal is what? To get the truck. So I said, hey Dad, Mom is behind me. He's getting out the shower. Now I do notice there is, you know, a woman there or whatever with a child, so I don't think nothing of it. I'm just trying to tell him. So Mom making up the stairs behind me, she see the lady, oh, what is this? You know, because it's only respectful to tell your wife or whatever, the mother of your kids, who your children are going to be around, but obviously that wasn't communicated. So she sees the lady and we don't know why she's there, but oh God, y'all, it becomes a big scene. So we get back downstairs or whatever. I'm really just trying to leave with the truck because that's what I want. I came there for the truck, and he has this motorcycle that she actually funded, and so it's out there, and she sees that, and I kid you not, what you did, Mom? She went over there and she started pushing the motorcycle over.
I picked the motorcycle up and I threw it.
You did not. God, look.
So it said, Mr. Wonderful.
And what it said?
Starburst.
Which is also who he's married to right now. You know,
and I was
it's
like,
all love, it's all love.
I look at that now. Hurt people. And I look at that now. I'm glad that it happened.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets, because it took me, I had went to jail.
Yeah, so that's what I said, no regrets.
I spent 3 days in jail. And
she looked like Cookie Lion when she got out, y'all.
And it taught me, you don't let no man or woman take your freedom.
Yeah.
And when we went to court about it, and I had to go to anger management, mind y'all, anger management course is just 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so angry that I had to stay 9 months. But I'm so glad that the judge at that particular time saw who I was as a person and knew exactly what I needed. Because people think when they go to court that they the first one with this situation. Baby, you're not the first.
Right.
They listen to this shit all day long, 5 days a week, 47 times a day.
Yeah.
So he knew. He knew it wasn't my fault. I was just there at the wrong time, wrong place. Went to anger management. But what anger management taught me is this. Hear me when I say this. He who angers you controls you. And no one should have that freedom in your spirit except for you and God.
Mm-hmm.
That's bottom line, that's it.
Yeah.
So it made me want, before I get upset, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well, I just want to say, as a witness to that event, what I'm saying, you come a long way. You literally pushed Dad's motorcycle over. So he had to catch it. And in that moment where he had to catch the motorcycle, you decided that was the best time to just
well, yeah, I knew in fighting that you have to get the grip on the other person when they most vulnerable.
Mine, he looked like a scarred up pit bull. Yeah, I said my daddy light skin, y'all. He looked like a scarred up pit bull after she got
as
done.
I say, hurt people hurt people. So at that particular time, I was hurt. I wanted to get back at him only because he loved someone else.
Yeah.
How stupid is that? I see that now. Just because a person does not want you,
Yeah.
you can be somebody else's trash
Yeah.
and be somebody else's diamond.
Yeah, I heard that. What you want? You want a drink? Okay. Well, I just want to say that I really commend you for that because that was something to get over. Look at you. I honestly, I feel like I have witnesses that can contest to since post-divorce, the rise of Chef Carla Alexander. Oh my God. It's a lot of people would look at a divorce as a negative, but in some cases, I really feel like it was a positive.
I have to be honest. I did a lot of soul searching.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of soul searching. And what I found in that soul searching was me.
Yeah.
Because I had got lost between being a wife and a mother. Who are you to you?
Absolutely.
And that's okay, because moms do that.
Yeah.
They sacrifice themselves.
Yeah. Indeed, you have. So I just want to toast to you on, first of all, just being an amazing mom, just being the strong person to overcome your obstacles and just persevering over everything. Post-divorce, you still have all your kids living with you. You're taking care of everyone. We work together as a unit. I often say that the bosses that I've had as an example in my life has all been portrayed by women. And that's just the truth, and that's no shade to any man out there that's on the grind, but my examples as a woman for myself has come from other women, and that is so big and detrimental in my life. And the biggest influence has been my mom, and I don't think there will ever be a bigger influence or example of leadership. You know what I'm saying? So, Mom, I just want to toast to you for getting over the hump, setting an example, deciding to swim instead of sinking. That's literally, every time I'm in a rut about anything, I'm emotional about it. I'm worried if I'm going to overcome it. She always give me my pep talk, tell me it's going to be okay, but the last thing she asks me is if I'm going to sink or am I going to swim. So I just thank you for always showing me how to swim.
And I do want to say something about that. I feel like even though my marriage to a black man did not work out, I just want to say that I feel that black men are God's greatest greatest creations. It's not nothing that they cannot do. They are kings. They are worthy. They just need to have that mindset. But behind every good black man is a black woman.
Yeah.
I think black men are just stand up straight.
Yeah.
They're amazing people. They can talk things into existence. And only reason why I can say this is because I had a good dad that put that in my mind that a black man is everything, and they can go within leaps and bounds because they were the first created.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I don't knock anything you just said, but I did on my previous show. I did just say that women are the next best thing to Jesus. You know, I feel like there's nothing that a woman can't do. You know what I'm saying? Women are strong. We bear children. We get this party started. We keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you come from a black woman or from a woman, period. So make sure you allow that woman to be the blueprint for your life, because I promise you, at the end of the day, they will not steer you wrong. That's on God. Alright, so post-divorce, dad's out the house. I won't say out the picture, but dad's out the house. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, first of all, I know it's hard to start something fresh when one thing has been constant for so long. Like, you're so used to it. It's, you know, routine. So, but now dad's at the house. In my opinion, and I feel like some can kind of attest and agree, being my witness, that it seemed like the rise of let me say that better, the rise of executive Chef Carla Alexander, it just felt like once some of those things were out of your way, it just seems like whatever it was that God had it destined for you to be, it was coming into play. I'm talking about, you had already started your business prior to the divorce, you know, Clark's Cuisines and Sweets, but I feel like post-divorce, maybe you were able to focus on it more or something, but I just feel like you kind of came into your own. You became your...
I did come into my own. I was more focused on my business. I got a call from a guy named Spark Plug, and he was like, actually, let me back up. A well-known singer named Anthony Anderson. A lot of y'all don't know this. Hamilton.
Yeah.
I was doing a book signing for. Do y'all know the book called Fly Girls? Fly Girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know. Yeah.
Okay.
He just passed away.
He passed away. The
The
author.
author.
Wow. Rest in peace.
No. Okay, we'll get into that later. Omar Tyree.
Oh,
Omar Tyree.
Tyree, yeah, Fly Girl.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was with Anthony Hamilton, and they was talking about how good my food was, and I was like, what? And they was like, yeah, it's so good. And then I got a call from Anthony Hamilton, and he was like, hey, chef, I'm in town. I need you to bring me this, that, and the third, and a pack of 9 layers. He was just like fucking with me. And I was like, okay. Brought it up there. He had this whole entourage, and he was like, you coming to the show tonight? And I was like, no. He gave me tickets to the Fox Theater, plus the after show that he wanted to take pictures. And that's when I really figured out who I was.
Yeah, like, hey, I can do this.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Anthony Hamilton, I can do this, right?
Right. So then came who? Tiny and Tip, Sierra, Tamar and Kevin Vince. Yeah.
They kept rolling in.
Yeah.
And it was just showing me. It was just like clips of showing me like who I was. And then it was like so many other people that was calling on my services, being featured in publications and voice name being recognized in places that you have not stepped foot in. Um, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. People recognizing who I was for the craft that I was doing. And I owe that to my dad and my father-in-law, because my father-in-law kept telling me who I was, but I was not receiving it.
Yeah.
And my dad that taught me the craft that got me to where I was, because I was just side by side with him when my dad that was cooking, just because I wanted to spend time with him.
Right. So you never thought that you would
I
be
never
just this
thought
successful chef.
I never thought this would be my business.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, underplaying who I am. I have underplayed myself, who I was, so someone else to be accepted. It's a slap in the face to Christ, and I want to say that I apologize because He created me to be who I am.
Much bigger than you portrayed.
Much bigger than what I portrayed.
Absolutely.
Um,
That's enlightenment right there.
Yeah.
That's an enlightenment moment. That's realizing who you are. That's not something that come easy. I feel like you have to experience life first. You have to know. You have to convince yourself because it starts with self.
It starts with self. And to have got 2 phone calls this week saying, "Hey, Chef Carla, I want to go into business with you." I'm 56 years old.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm tired. I've worked for 2 and 3 people at one time. I wanna spend time with my grandkids. I have 3 of them. I want to be a pivotal point in their life. I want to live for myself. I want to do different things.
Yeah.
But it chooses my fate. Keep choosing me, and I don't understand it, but it does.
Yeah. But to be able to do something that you love, you know how many of us are searching for that? To be able to be financially stable doing what you love and
I
not
wanna
doing what
say
you
this.
have to do.
It's like I have the Midas touch. Whatever I touch gonna be platinum.
I just want y'all to understand why I talk and think the way. I'm so glad you said that. So when people hear the way I talk, it's not me being cocky or anything. I come from a strong and confident woman. So who am I to be anything except that?
Except that my daughter turned 32 this year, and she had me cooking all kinds of stuff, and I'm thinking in my mind, when the fuck does this start? I'm 32.
It ain't gonna never stop.
When the fuck does this stop? Mind you, I had another pan gig.
Yes, you did. You spat it out though. It was like done.
It was little or no effort. When God give you a gift,
We had a gig yesterday.
little or no effort, that's your gift. But I also want to say that God is heavy-handed.
For sure.
He gonna give you multiple gifts
For sure.
that you can do.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how I'm still giving a 32-year-old a birthday party.
You're gonna give a 52-year-old a birthday
I don't
party.
understand.
Because that's just who you are. I want you to, this is what I need you to understand. I know you will be so mad at us sometimes, like, you got more than one parent. But see, that's that thing again. When people show you who you are and what you can do and what you're capable of. And I just want you to know that you put yourself in a real predicament because for our entire lives, you demonstrated who you are and what you're capable of.
And I respect that. But I also had 2 parents. I knew that my mom was the money maker, show shaker, and did not have a job. She had faith.
like you're saying, you know what? And let me be clear, because I don't want to dismiss my dad or shame him or anything like that. Because he was an awesome dad growing up. Still is an awesome dad. He was there in a lot of moments when he was needed. You know what I'm saying? He was everything a dad should have been or should be. You know what I'm saying? It's just some things are just unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, and I understand that. But like I told you before, you Paris, Paige, RJ, Kendi, expect 100% parent to give 100% when they not 100% themselves. So you have to love them for where they at.
Yeah, I think I realize that more now as an adult. Of course, I don't think any kids. Because they say like Kennedy and RJ, I don't
Just
think
because they're a parent don't make them 100%. Just because you can parent and spit on a kid, don't make that you know everything it is.
So we know that.
And I understand that. My aunts, my mom, and my grandmother love Oprah Winfrey. They love her. Oprah, they love her. For a minute, let me tell y'all something. Every time she talk about kids, they're all of a sudden they don't want to watch the shit.
Cause she ain't got none.
Cause she ain't got none. Cause it's not relatable.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic. They don't understand. They can't comprehend. They don't get it.
Yeah.
So therefore, when they show that episode, they don't want to hear shit.
Yeah. Well, let me shine this light on you real quick, because like I said, I do somehow, some way manage to come up in every episode. I brag about you often, which means you have like this huge impact on my life. So I commend you for Kalaris Cuisines and Sweets. Make sure y'all book my mom, okay? I'm talking about any type of event. I promise you she will come through and deliver expectations and beyond, okay? So that's one thing. Then you just recently started the trucking company named after Paris Trucking. That's totally awesome. That's a whole nother level. When we say we want to make money in our sleep, that's how we'll be making money.
I feel like, honestly, you have to reinvent yourself who you are.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can reinvent yourself and venture off in other stuff.
Yeah.
You can, because you have so many personalities within yourself. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not use them to be who you were called to be?
Yeah.
So if you sleep on that, that's your fault. God gave it to you.
Yeah.
That's your destiny. That's who you are. So don't sleep on it. Advance yourself in that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And this is going to kind of spring into our motivation one-on-one, because here you are, spring into, you made it out of a marriage that was toxic, you know, and you still carry on your relationship with him, obviously, because you still have 2 children that just completed high school or whatever. You still got to raise kids, no matter how old they get. But you have your successful catering business. Now you're embarking on a trucking business. Not only that, you have myself who have 2 degrees and accepted a job offer moving soon. Paris has an LLC in a happy and productive relationship with someone who is ultimately making her better. Kennedy graduated high school in 2020. She just completed her first year at Fort Valley, my former college and my alma mater, which means so much to me. And going into her sophomore year, she has a band scholarship. RJ just graduated from high school, and he has an academic scholarship to go to Kennesaw. So like, it just seems like your job here is done, well done at that. So how would you motivate anybody, whether it's a parent, a single mom, a single dad, whatever, somebody who went through a tough relationship, someone who had to reinvent themselves, someone who's pushing just like you are, trying to establish a business. what is it? What kind of words of motivation would you use to kind of just give them that, I don't know, that push to keep going and overcome their obstacles?
That push is, it's not enough.
Yeah, never settle.
Don't settle. Keep pushing forward. I'm not done yet. If I was done, then I wouldn't be living. I wouldn't be talking to you now. So obviously God got something else for me to do. So I'm gonna keep pushing my kids, keep pushing anybody that need my help. I'm gonna tell you something. I answer my phone anytime anybody calls me. You wanna know why? Because somebody answered the phone for me.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, putting God first, and He will show you the way. You're not done just because you raised your kid, just because you retired.
Yeah.
You're not done, because if you keep breathing, you keep living, it's more for you to do.
Mm.
I don't look like my age.
No, you do not.
I wake up every morning. I'm in right mind, sound, and body.
Mm-hmm.
Any dates you give me, I know it. Whatever you need me to do, I can do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I feel like in my mind, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
It's more. I've been in so many publications, talk shows, serving people with a smile.
Yeah, that you do.
I never knew it till one person gave me $1,000 tip
Mm-hmm.
in one day.
True. I remember that.
$1,000
Catered for Stormy Wellington, Coach Stormy.
$1,000 tip.
Yeah.
And that was more than Stormy gave because she's a multi-millionaire. $1,000 tip. I talk to this person every other day. And she lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Every other day. Since then.
Yeah.
Because she saw my value. She saw what I gave. She saw that my smile was on my face. But how did she come to that? How did Diva come to that?
Yeah.
Spiritual. Spiritually.
Yeah.
Everybody may think that things happen just because they happen, but they happen for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Mom, I just want to tell you that I'm so beyond proud of you, and I just want to thank you for being the perfect example for myself and my siblings and also my friends. You know, I have a lot of friends that would attest to the fact that you treat them just like their own. I have friends that love the relationship you have with them and look forward to speaking with you and ask you for advice, and that means a lot to me too. Really, I like my shero. Like I say all the time that you're my favorite person in the whole world.
Thank you.
Just thank you for being an example. Thank you for putting it in me to always want more, even when I've accomplished a lot. And thank you for taking the time out to celebrate my accomplishments.
Thank you.
You know, like, I just want you to know that you mean a lot to us all, and I don't think I would be where I am today without you. You mean a lot to me.
Thank you.
And I don't want to be selfish, so I had you on here because I decided today that I would share, you know, you to the world today. I wanted people to get an idea of what I've had almost 29 years of, and through the ups and downs, you know, I didn't really change any aspect of it, any part. Thank you for showing me how to swim, you know. Thank you for showing me how to get up when my obstacles have kind of knocked me down. Thank you for showing me how to handle my my anxiety, you know. Life is hard, and I'm still growing, learning, but I don't think I'll be able to get through any of it without you. So I just hope that when I have Parker, when I have my future daughter Parker.
What happened to Sebastian?
Well, you know, I had Sebastian and what I had, Symphony and Sebastian. You know, I had that. You know, like my mom had Paris. Started out with Paris and Paige, so I had Symphony and Sebastian. No, Summer and Sebastian for a long time. But actually, I decided that I only want one kid now. So that just turned into a Parker. But no, just thank you all around for being the blueprint, an example to how one should live life and try to self-evaluate and try to acquire all the things in life that you want. Because if you say you have them, then obviously you can. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Thank you for being a good mom. Thank you for being a good best friend. You my dog. We talk about everything. I hope that you guys, even if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, I hope that this episode kind of, you know, I don't know, maybe help you want to, maybe get you the urge to want to rekindle something or just strengthen something. But like I said, this episode was one to show you guys where I come from and why I'm goal oriented, why I'm family oriented, why I want to live my best life, while I'm expensive, everything. Why my personality is the way it is because of this woman right here. And if you have a strong woman that has led you thus far, I want you to make sure that you toast to them every chance you get and give them their flowers while they're here to smell them. All right, y'all. I am your host, Paige Alexander, aka CEO Paige. This is Trill Vibes, the podcast. I introduce you all to my mom, someone I love very dearly, Miss Chef Carla Alexander. You know what I'm saying? Any last words? We're gonna have everybody follow you. Listen, she on social media, whether she posting or not, but I promise y'all she be on there. So she'll respond if you hit her up. Let them know where to follow you.
I just, one Chef Carla Alexander. I just want to say, it was a movie out. I was in I think maybe the 6th or 7th grade called Roots. And it was so, it was so important. Roots, every family, you know, it was number one, it has not even been touched. But when Kuta Kinte was born, the dad took Kuta Kinte out in the wild and said, there's no one greater than yourself than Kuta Kinte.
Right.
So that stuck right here. Because that told me that's what you want to produce.
Yeah.
Someone greater than you, so that they can lead on from when you left off.
Right.
So obviously, that's my daughters, Montanique, Paris, Paige, Kendi, RJ, and Ruben. To pick up where I left off, to be greater than me, to see more than what I have, to pick up that baton, to move forward as to who they is. Because how can you know where you're going if you don't know where you came from?
Absolutely. Man, thank you so much for being here today. Like I said, I hope this, you know, is good for you all. And you're welcome for sharing for me, you know, to share my mind with y'all or whatever. But like I said, I wanted y'all to get an idea of where the source of who I am come from. And I think you did just that today. So Mom, I salute you. Thank you for being here today on my craft, you know. And it's just that I am your girl, Paige Alexander, aka CEO Paige. This is Trill Vibes, the podcast.